On today's episode of WatchJRGo, we are out in the shop with Jordan and Eric and the 51 International, and today our game plan is to drive this truck. So let's see what we can do. What is going on, guys? I am WatchJRGo, and today, like I said, I'm here with Eric and Jordan is back here opening up some brake hoses we just picked up for the International. And today, our game plan, of course, is to replace the remaining brake hoses, although we bought them all. We're gonna change all the brake hoses and see. What are you? That doesn't fit your truck.
I was trying. You never know until you try. It's got a cable on it. I can't even steal it.
And see if we can make all of these brakes work the way they're supposed to. So that's the goal for the end of the day. If we can get the brakes going, well, I guess they're gonna change hoses. I'm gonna build harnesses for the headlights. We're basically gonna try to put everything that's remaining together today. And Eric also ordered a new headlight switch because if you guys noticed, he had to hit it like 3 or 4 times for it to work. So it's a pretty spotty old floor switch, changing the floor switch, and we're changing everything. The floor switch won't be here today, but let's jump in here and start changing brake hoses. Well, here's the update on the brakes. We went back there, cut the brake hoses out, and everyone was like, you know, they're all swelled up inside. And guess what? That is what they look like. It looks like you can see through it, but it is 100% solid black. That one's easier to see. And this one you can see there, it's got its own new core, a fresh rust core inside there. And here's another one of the fittings. You know, you might be able to pass fluid through that one, but just a hair. And here's another one of the fittings from the back, and you can't pass anything through that one. So we have our new brake lines installed. I know it's probably tough to see, but there's some shiny metal in there. And we have perfect brake fluid coming out of the rear. So we just finished going around and bleeding all 4 brakes. Jordan changed that front line. We've pretty much gone through and tried everything, and I think we have brakes working now. So now we're pressure testing our carb to see why it keeps overflowing even though the float is sealing up just fine. So Eric's hooking the NOCO back up to the pump, and we're gonna see just what's going on with this thing.
Ready? Yep.
Okay. It works perfectly.
I'm not saying I'm not even going all the way.
I spent a lot of time adjusting it.
Looks good to me.
I guess all we can do is put it back together and hope that once we get even more fuel in there, it shuts off properly. Well, it's time to put on our second headlight. Just finished getting the wiring in here. I know you guys are gonna love this. Look at our beautiful work, because we ordered a terminal bar from Amazon, and what they sent was a bus bar. So since all the wires would just be connected, it wouldn't make any sense. So we have an actual terminal block on the way now, and for now, wire nuts, they're it. And you know what? The wire nuts seem like they're working really well. So let's hook this up, put in our last light, and hopefully we got headlights, we got brakes. You can nearly call this a truck. It's kind of got all the ingredients of truck.
We'll hook the camper up to it and see what happens.
Okay, as long as we pull the camper straight to a destination with it.
Well, what it'll be is we'll just put Jordan's truck actually hooked up to the camper. And this in front of Jordan's truck, and we'll shoot from about 50 feet back so you don't have the depth perception to tell that we're pulling the camper.
I love it, yeah. It works out perfectly. We'll just kind of side by side. If anybody gets off sync though, the gig's up.
No, we know what we're doing. You know those swimmers that go underwater with their legs and stuff out of water? That's how good we are at truck things.
Synchronized swimmers.
It's called synchronized trucking. It's on ESPN the Ocho.
ESPN the Ocho!
I watched them do pogo sticking the other day. It was wild.
First of all, pogo sticking with Vertego's pogo sticks is the greatest thing in the world. Those guys jump over houses all day. But it's like $2,000 for that pogo stick.
Yeah, it looks like a piece of PVC with a giant piston in it.
And you air it up with your air compressor.
You do?
It's an air piston, yeah.
Oh, wow.
I really want one of those because I feel like I can pogo stick over houses. It seems like...
You're kind of built for the sport. They're all about your size.
Well, I just want to be on ESPN the Ocho. It's crazy they made an entire channel just for that, the throw the bag competition.
Oh, cornhole.
Cornhole.
Now they have just a whole bunch of they have like ultimate soccer, and it's like 3 different soccer teams and 3 different goals, and you don't really play defense. You just score on everybody else's goal but your own.
I like it.
Yeah, it's just people are just making up sports at a high rate these days.
Well, why are we doing that? We could be making up sports.
I mean, pickleball took over the world, so all other sports are obsolete, I think.
True. Jordan's going inside to test out our headlights. Hey, look at that! Wow. Okay.
They were on.
Yeah, you got it.
I switched them.
I mean, that's good enough for me. Our wire nuts are solid.
Yeah, you're right. Uh-oh.
Yeah, the foot switch is going bad. So it's like on, off, on, and then high beam. So we've got our fuel pump power here, and this is temporary, but I think I found the perfect way to solve the problem with, for some reason, the needle and seat's not working, even though we just tested it and it seals perfectly. It still keeps overflowing the bowl. So here's my solution to your problem. It's a special switch built just for your truck, actually. I think they made that for you. So.
Sag on, down sag.
Down sag. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the truck is in a position to drive for the first time. You know, the only thing, oh, you guys did tighten up the battery. Good deal.
Did you try the negative?
No, it seems like they're both solid.
Good enough.
So Eric's gonna pull this thing out, hopefully, if we have brakes. Obviously, we haven't had a brake road test yet. He does have the world's greatest fuel pump control system right here. Very nice. Classy. And classy. Here. Since we might all end up in here, I'm gonna take the headlight rings out and put them on the bench.
That's fine.
Got your tag, good spot for the tag. Got your horn. I mean, that's a spot for the horn.
I didn't put that there.
I don't think you'll need a double clutch or anything the first time. Just creep into first gear and it should do magic. Give it some pulse. Now, for the first time, it stopped starting.
Just wait.
I think it's got a bunch of gas sitting in it. Thing sounds terrible. Terrible. But it looks so cool. Yeah, buddy. Second gear. That was the drive shaft! Oh man. Well guys, the drive shaft wasn't built for the rigors of today's driving. It's fine, but the U-joints gave up. Of course they would. At least the U-joints should be pretty reasonable to replace. I did call it. I said I thought it might fail. But here you go. I'm just gonna javelin this into the back of the truck. We can put that back.
Holy smokes!
Yeah, well, the U-joints just gave up on
both sides.
both ends. On both ends. Well, I'll pull you with the Navi.
Yeah, that's something I can run into you with.
Yeah, it should be no big deal.
It's under its own power.
All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, 118, 1
I really thought the transmission just fell right out from under it. It was just like, I was shifting and it felt like it sank. And I was like, huh, that's not a good feeling. That's bad. Oh man, that was funny. I think we made it a full mile before it fell off. Now I'll apply full brakes, watch.
Oh yeah, really not dragging.
That's all. That's all I got. I mean, so it works a little. He could just drag me down the road. Let me test out our e-brake here.
Well, technically the 51 International is back on the road, or it was until the drive shaft fell out of it. You know, we kind of had a feeling that might happen as well because none of that was really taken care of, and they were greasable U-joints, and it all looked bad, and it looked so bad that I was like, we can't save this. We're gonna need to change the U-joints eventually. So O'Reilly should have the U-joints. We'll get those picked up, get them in the drive shaft, put this whole thing back together, and take it out for another maiden voyage. And then we'll reveal the plans for this truck, the final plans. Hopefully that terminal block's here and this wiring's all cleaned up, and we'll, you know, finish touching up that carburetor so we can drive this thing around and take it to Cars and Coffee and stuff like that. But hey, we got brakes now. We still need to change one of these brake lines, this one here on the driver's side. We didn't change that one yet, but the rest got changed, and we have, honestly, pretty reasonable brakes for what it is. It needs driven more, the brakes need used more. It's tough without power brakes too, but at the same time, it's better than nothing. And of course, it still runs like a sewing machine. So we made it just about as far as we made it with Rich's Hayabusa powered Cavalier, or whatever that was, before she broke. And of course, the star of the show were our Holley retro brights. I'm sure you guys saw those turned on. I was like, turn on the lights, because it just looks so cool. But that is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to head on over to shop.WatchJRGo.com for cool shirts just like this. And please like, share, subscribe, do whatever you want to do, and I will talk to you next time. It just looks so good going down the road. And watching the drive shaft fall out was also hilarious. I'd say all those U-joints are trash. Maybe we'll get this thing out, clean it up, and give it a rattle can rebuild too. It'd be nice if it looked pretty. That's the U-joint that failed for sure. It is simply gone.